Very simply, Jim, how much are you looking forward to the proper stuff starting this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it's came around really quickly, to be honest. You know, we've just in this part of our fourth week of pre-season, and this cup competition certainly does come upon you pretty quickly. I think most teams out there at every level will be a little bit underprepared for it in terms of fitness levels and in terms of recruitment still to be done. But it's certainly one that gets the players' minds focused very early. Competitive competition, one that we want to do well in. We didn't do well in it last season, and it set a bit of a negative tone early on. Whereas this time round, I think we're certainly better prepared in terms of the recruitment that we've done, and very exciting game to look forward to. Falkirk, obviously, great success last season. A manager who I've got huge respect for there in John McGlynn, and we're expecting a very, very difficult fixture.
I mean, you mentioned how the League Cup campaign last season perhaps set a negative tone. How important is it that you can get the positive result and set the positive tone for the new campaign?
Well, yeah, I think games like this, when you've got 4 games in the space of 2 weeks in what is, pretty much still pre-season for us and a lot of the other teams as well, you can get a lot of good momentum and get a lot of positivity around the place, not just with the supporters but with the group here as a whole. It's about trying to build confidence. A lot of new players within the squad still wanting to get the grips with each other in terms of knowing each other's games, and I think competitive games are the best place for that to happen. So we're very optimistic about it, but still very respectful of the opposition. We will be favourites in our group, no doubt, being the Premier League team, but there's a lot of league winners within our group. When you look at the likes of Falkirk and Stenhousemuir, and even Buckie Thistle had a great campaign as well last season, and obviously Scott Brown's done a great job at Ayr United in the summer with the players that he's signed. So it is certainly probably the toughest group within this stage of the competition, but it's a great opportunity for the new players to go and show the supporters why we brought them to the club, and a great opportunity for us to try and get off to a good start on Saturday first and foremost, but then look towards getting into the latter stages of this competition.
And it's a tough start as well. I mean, Falkirk had a wonderful season last season, and they're a team that people are already talking about could be in the promotion mix from the Championship this time round.
I would certainly put Falkirk up there as playoff contenders in the Championship, no doubt about it. They've got real momentum behind them. They're a group of players that have been together for a considerable period of time. John McGlynn has got them playing a really good style of football as well. They're very, very organised, and I've got no doubt that they will be one of the form teams in the Championship next season. But it's about focusing on ourselves. It's obviously about respecting the opposition and doing our homework on them. But I do believe if we play to the levels that we're capable of and what we have seen here in pre-season at this early stage, then I think we give ourselves a good chance.
And just finally, any team news? Are you taking a clean bill of health into your first competitive game?
Yes, we're in good shape. We've got a really good squad to choose from. We've had a few of the younger academy players in with the squad from day one of pre-season, and a couple of them have really shone at times, and they've given themselves a position to stake a claim as well. So we're in a good place, I think. Certainly not going to be crying about numbers and the volume of players that we have, because I know that there'll be some part-time teams out there that'll be thinking it's a bit rich coming from me when I've got probably 20 players to choose from and they maybe only got 12 or 13. So we're in a good place, we're very positive, and we're looking forward to it.
How well do you feel pre-season has been? You've had some friendlies that have all resulted in positive results, and how well do you feel that your new signings have fitted into the squad?
Well, we've been delighted with pre-season as a whole. Very well planned out by the medical team and the sports science team, and we've managed to come through it pretty much unscathed in terms of injuries, which is the most important thing. The guys enjoyed a good break in the summer, and I think when they came back in, they were all really looking forward to getting going again. The friendlies that we had, all very positive. Plenty of things within it that we have to work on and we have to improve on. Defensively, we've not conceded a goal in those friendlies, albeit some of them against lower league opposition. But in terms of the patterns play in the forward areas that we've been working on, that we've been looking at, we've definitely seen a number of those in those games. And the top end of the pitch, it's just about these new players getting an understanding, and hopefully the goals will flow in the weeks to come.
There's been mention of your interest in North Macedonia player David Babinski, if I've pronounced that correctly. Can you tell us anything about that at all?
Well, he's a very good player, and he's one who I've known for a number of years, and David, among a number of other players, are players that we're looking at and speaking to at the moment, but I don't have anything further to add to that at this time.
So nothing immediate on that front?
Nothing immediate, no.
And going into this run of League Cup games, how much preparation does that give you ahead of the Premiership season starting?
Well, I mean, look, it's competitive football, and as I said, we've been in for a month now in terms of pre-season. We're not where we need to be physically yet in the fitness aspect, but neither will any other team, I think, at this time of the season. But it's it really does switch the players' mindset in terms of getting away from the friendlies and focusing on competitive games. And we've had a meeting to discuss the importance of this competition and what it means to the club, to the supporters, in making sure that we get the points required to get through to the next stage. So I think it's a great competition. It's one that you can definitely build a bit of momentum in and get a bit of confidence early doors, clean sheets, hopefully scoring plenty of goals, and that would hopefully set us up nicely for that league opener against Dundee.
And beyond this cup run, is there targets for the season? Do you have a plan where you would like to be come the end of the season?
Look, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Obviously, we're an ambitious club. We feel that we're one of the big teams in Scotland, and we have to be optimistic. But at the same time, I think it's important, not to put too much pressure on the group, and just to remind ourselves of where we were last season. We fought hard to win that league and get ourselves back into the Premier League. I think from a league perspective, it's about getting enough points on the board initially to make sure that we retain our Premiership status for next season, and once we do achieve that, then we can start looking for other targets. But right now, the full focus is on the League Cup. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. We know that we'll be favourites within our group, but in order for us to get the success that we need to get through this group stage first and foremost. Thank you.
Jack Walton and Dave Richards, you've talked about competition of places. Is that a decision that you've made, or is this what's up for grabs in these League Cup games? So who's going to be the number one?
Well, look, Jack Walton was outstanding for his last season. He was the best goalkeeper in the Championship. He's got good experience down the road in England playing League One and the odd Championship game here and there, and we do feel that getting Jack in was a real coup for us, because he knows the club, he knows the league, and he's very well liked within the group. Obviously, I didn't feel that department was strong enough last season, and bringing Dave in and adding him to the mix has certainly strengthened that particular department. Working closely with Paul Mathers, I think both of them will continue to develop, and as I said to one of the earlier questions, there's real competition for places throughout the squad, and hopefully we'll be able to get everyone valuable minutes in these next 4 games coming up over the next couple of weeks, and then there's a scrap on for every position to see who's got the jersey come that first league game.
None of these 4 games are going to be easy games to play, as you pointed out. It's a Champions League in its own right. But Falkirk caused you some problems last year. Is that the one up first that's going to give you most problems, you feel, in the group?
Well, as I said, I got loads of respect for John McGlynn. His attention to detail, he's very meticulous. He seems to know exactly where the opposition are at. He seems to spend a lot of time on that, nullifying the strengths of the opposition, which is something that they've done very well against us in the Trust Trophy last season at their place. So yes, that's still fresh in our minds. A number of the group that are here with us currently were involved in that particular game, so I don't think there'll be any case of us underestimating the opposition on Saturday. But we do feel that being the Premier League team, the onus is on us to go and show why we are in the league above, and we will give them all the respect that they deserve as an opposition. But if we focus on what we're good at, then hopefully the result will take care of itself.
Do you see any benefit to Dundee United as a club starting in the league in a few weeks' time, having competitive games at this point in the season rather than friendlies?
That's what the League Cup has brought round over the last few years when it was brought in. Some people are for it, some people are against it. I think we'd all probably wish that it wasn't starting for another week or so, just to get that little bit more time in terms of the recruitment and the fitness and getting guys up to speed. But look, it's here, it's on us now, and we have to make sure that we're ready and we're prepared for it. And yeah, I mean, it's a good competition, as I said, to get good confidence within the group, to get some momentum, to carry that on into the league, and to get off to a good start is really important.
Is there anyone in the squad who's particularly impressed you during pre-season?
Well, there's been a number of good younger players who have stepped up from the academy and have done really well. Sam Harding is a young centre-half who we've got real high hopes for. Brandon Forbes has played a very important role throughout the course of pre-season as well. I think those two deserve a mention. But yeah, I mean, look, you can see the quality that the new guys are going to bring to the group. Ryan Strain, I think, has probably been one of the most consistent players in the Scottish Premiership over the last couple of seasons in that particular position. Trapanovsky's brought real quality to the top end of the pitch. Will Ferry, a player I know loads about, having tried to get him a few years ago when I was at St Mirren. So I think the new guys have added real quality. And I think the standards off the back of those new guys coming in has just raised the bar for everybody across the group. But yeah, I mean, there's been good individual performances in pre-season, but it's all about me trying to get the ideas across to the players of what we're looking for, both transitions of having the ball and not having the ball, and then seeing those things being implemented in the games. And hopefully, we'll see a better understanding of that starting against Falkirk on Saturday.